Steve, are you willing to share your lineup today?
No.
Okay, that's fine. And the other the other question is, without Steph, what are the challenges to get the spacing you like? I mean, even with Buddy out there, what are the challenges?
Well, the challenge is we have to put two-way lineups on the floor. We got to get stops. As I said, we've got to win this game and this series with our defense. So the challenge is you put your best defensive lineups on the floor, and you may not have a ton of spacing. So then how do you counter that? You counter it with pace and energy and offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities, force turnovers, get out in transition. If you are in the half court, you have to execute. So even if you don't have traditional shooting spacing, you still have to be spaced. And we've had some possessions where we got a few guys whose tendency is to crowd the paint. If you have three different guys crowd the paint, then it's 1984. But we don't have Kareem to throw the ball into for a skyhook either. So that's where it gets a little tricky, and that's where the natural tendencies of players who are going to gravitate towards the paint, they have to stay spaced, and we can run some actions to counter what the defense is doing if we do that.
One of the most underappreciated things about Steph is how he's able to keep everyone, the levity, and keep everyone grounded. How have you guys been missing his personality? Obviously, he's still there, but has anyone really stepped up to kind of keep this team happy and enjoying the game?
Steph's still here, nothing changes with the vibe. The last few days with Steph being injured, the vibe is the exact same. The guys are prepping and together and laughing, and they play basketball for a living. Life is good, so the vibe's good.
Is 48 unrealistic for him? He kind of hinted at the idea last night. I assume you don't want to do that, obviously, but he seems like he would probably accept that if asked.
He wants 48. I mean, he begs for 48. Basically. I mean, not explicitly, but he's constantly looking at me if he's on the bench. Trying to make eye contact to go back in. He's such a gamer, such an incredible competitor. So I probably have to protect him from himself a little bit.
Coach, how did you feel about Kuminga's game specifically as a rebounder? Him and Podz combined for 14, and that was the first game in this series the Wolves out-rebounded you guys. So how do you keep that going?
I thought Kuminga was great. Just the energy, the effort, sprinting the floor, just the extra efforts, and of course the scoring. I mean, we needed all of his points. Really a fantastic effort from JK, and really happy for him. The way he stayed ready through the last couple of weeks where things hadn't gone his way, and we're going to need him obviously going forward.
Steve, how difficult do you think it'll be for Jimmy and JK to duplicate or replicate what they did in Game 3? I mean, they put up 63. They did it on pretty good efficiency, but there wasn't a whole lot around them. Right.
Well, my experience is that they probably won't combine for 63 tomorrow, but that other people will fill in some of those gaps. And every game is just different and unique. So you kind of move forward and you look at where you can attack, what you can do better, and then different guys step up. But I'm very confident that both JK and Jimmy will play well, but to expect 63 points combined again is probably unrealistic.
First half, you guys did a tremendous job on defense. It was a pretty ugly first half, but both teams, but you came out ahead at halftime. Second half, obviously, things fell off. What do you think fell off in the second half that you guys did so well in the first half? Defensively.
Well, Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, that's what happened in the second half. So, they're great players. They're going to make plays. They're going to have moments. So, I think the way we look at things is, what are our keys going into the series, going into each game, and how closely do we match that game plan discipline, because you can't really control Anthony Edwards making a fadeaway three from the wing with 1 second on the shot clock. You're not going to be able to do anything about that, but you can do something about the offensive rebounds, the kick out threes, losing vision, on cutters. All those things are controllable. And that's the focus for tomorrow, is tightening up the details.
And your starting lineup, but what did you like about what they did when you early in the game? And
I
what
like
pros and
Trace's
cons, I should
athleticism.
say.
I'm sorry?
I should say, what did you like and didn't like? What are the pros and cons of the lineup you went out there with yesterday?
Well, we like Trace's size and finishing. He got a couple buckets early. Inside, he gives us some size and athleticism to match theirs. He's traditionally played very well next to Draymond. Those lineups tend to be good defensively. So a lot of good stuff. And, I think we, like in all series, you kind of learn more as you go. And I think we learned some more from last night's game. And, the game plan will reflect that. The rotations will reflect that, and we'll keep moving forward.
Thank you.
How do you kind of balance the desire to, Moses and Quinten were good for you, obviously, for more than a month to end the regular season. They've struggled in this series. How do you balance clearly last night it felt like you were, trying to see if they could get going and didn't necessarily. So I guess, do you decide to just go away from them, or are you still trying to, see if you can eke them into the series?
Well, the thing I always say is that things change at the drop of a hat, and sometimes it's planned and sometimes it's unplanned, and JK is a perfect example of that. Trace is a perfect example of that. So you have to adapt and adjust, and things may be totally different tomorrow night. And, either QP or Moses could get out there and make a couple plays and be part of a good lineup and play extra minutes, and it could go their way. So everyone just has to stay ready.
On a rewatch, what did you think of the Draymond fouls?
I thought the one we challenged was a charge. I understand, when the league talks about legal guarding position, but I think that is superseded by the offensive player going through your chest. So that's why we challenged it. We saw the replay. We thought it was a charge. But those are always subjective calls, and you live with them. I didn't like the 6-1, but doesn't matter. The calls are what they are. Sometimes they go your way, sometimes they don't. So I haven't given them a second thought today. As I said, I thought the officials did a really good job yesterday, and we just have to play a little better.
All right. Anything else
All right.
from anybody?
Thank you, guys.
Great. Thanks
See you
for
tomorrow.
everybody.
Thank you.
Let you know.